This is a video diary of the multiple parties that call me. I've had a social worker call, and it's multiple parties enlisted to torture me and harass me. What I mean by that is like someone will call out the blue and start an argument. Even family members, I know that people wouldn't believe it. That's why I don't really talk about it a lot. Even family members. And I reported it to the police and they covered for it. I showed them texts how they would call me out the blue and start arguments when my abuser was mad. Because I had the text of the abuser being mad and things or evidence that I was getting violated, and I showed them situations to where I felt that my abuser would be mad. And then later on, a family member calls and starts an argument out the blue. I felt that it was a connection, and I did that report and it was ignored. But here's some other messages and things that occurred. Okay. On March 20th, I went to a park, to the lake. I don't normally do at this point, that particular time, I didn't do anything to enjoy myself. I was terrified, so I stayed inside a lot. And every blue moon, I do something, so I actually went out and enjoyed myself. And that didn't happen very often. And Adrian calls me out the blue and says, I need to get that TV you've been borrowing back. I was not borrowing the TV. She gave me a small TV. Then when I was at the park finally enjoying myself for a change, she asked for the TV back. And then she sent me a text saying, still need to get that TV back March 21st. This was sent on a Sunday when I was at the park, which is odd because why would she call on her day off and ask for the TV? If her client just told her that she needed the TV Friday when she worked, why would she call me on the weekend and ask for it back when I was at the lake enjoying myself? What I'm trying to establish is there's multiple parties that are enticed for emotional distress and torture. It's all a part of mental anguish and pain. So I said, okay, I wasn't aware that I was borrowing the TV, but okay. So she gave me a TV and wanted it back. So I was at work. I told her to come when I was off work. She declined. She would not do that. She told me to unplug it and leave it by the door, forcing her way when I was at work. So I went ahead and unplugged the TV and left it at the door. Okay. On March 14th, 125, she says that she's bringing medication and she supposedly had an appointment with FLP because they weren't returning my calls. And she claims the police called her and set up an appointment for her to speak with Family Place FLP and not me. So that's kind of ruthless, but they did it's for the emotional pain and anguish and to disregard me. So instead of having to set up a time to talk to Family FLP, they're going to have this Metro Care social worker that they enforced me to have connection to out of corruption. So they enforced that she is involved in the cover up. So they said for the Metro Care caseworker to talk to the Family Place and not me. So I asked her, she gives me the message at 10:25 that she is bringing medication. And I asked her what happened with Family Place FLP, and she doesn't respond at 10:30. I sent her that at 10:37, and then she doesn't respond. Then I asked her, why didn't she include me? If she's supposed to be an advocate for me. She said it wasn't said by me. Who called you? And then she said that, okay, she supposedly spoke with Family FLP and was playing games and would not tell me what happened. So I said, it's amazing that they set you up to talk with Family FLP and will not do a follow-up and tell me what happened. She cuts the notifications off, and then she tells me, I know exactly what happened. I already told you, have gone above and beyond to assist you with this and outside of your mental health. I'm not required to help you in this matter. Then I get accused by you of not helping at all. It's wrong on every level. So I'm getting gaslit. And I said, how? And you will not tell the police what you found out. They called you to help. She told me that the reason why Family Place was denying me access to the supervised visits because the dad didn't do his part. And then she gave me the number to speak with Rhonda, which won't call me back. Then she said you could take it from here since she got caught and, mistreating me. And then she said that they will not share any information with me. My only goal was to get you to contact there. Now you have one, and I will be completely out of this moving forward. We'll handle meds and doc's apartments only moving forward. She's a social worker. You don't have a choice to deny social worker services out of corruption. She did. And just so I did a post of what she said. Then she changed it and said, just so we're clear, Family Place never spoke specifically about your case. They only informed me of how the process works. Each party must contact them. You are making it seem as if they specifically said anything about your case, and they did not. Again, they are only stated that both parties must contact them. That is it. She changed it. She said that they said that the reason why the Family Place did not set up the supervised visits because the dad didn't do his part. Then she covered for him. Is on March 28th, she's looked at all the interactions with the police and all the crimes they were committing, and what her response is to don't call them. File reports online. She's not covering for it. That's what the social worker's recommendation is, to file the reports online. And then I said, why are you not providing advocacy and support for the corruption? Why is the only thing that you're concerned about it, my reports are being sabotaged? Are you aiding in it? And she says, what gives you that impression? I said, I should have rights to report crimes. Why would you aid in taking those rights away? And she says, I'm only recommending as the police department that you do reports online, as these are the past events, non-emergencies. On this day, there was no evidence of my claims. She's been getting caught up on my post. Stop calling the police. And these are just beliefs. Focus on ways to healthier thoughts and healthier belief system. Then I asked her about the prank and threatening calls, because she said that these are all in my mind trying to convince me that they're delusions. It's harassment, because she would call and they're like flying monkeys for torture. And I'm not going to go into details on how when I get these calls, but it's a lot of times I'm doing something or finally have a smile on my face and someone will call and intervene. It's crazy. So I told her I have prank calls and tried to report the calls and threats to the police. And then she cuts on do not disturb again. That was on April 5th. Then on April 6th, this is a social worker that is playing games and not taking my life very seriously along with everybody else and that I come in contact with. So she says, I understand that can seem really scary. I get them all the time. Oh, so she gets prank and threatening calls. Everyone gets them. She said, just hang up and ignore things like that. She says she never answers her prank calls. If someone's calling her from a private number, don't answer it. But I'm sure she knows that I'm trying to establish a pattern of abuse, and it's more like she's covering for it. And she talks about answering the private calls. And then I tell her I have a lot of crazy things going on. And I told her that's the evidence that she says that I needed. And then she wants me to pick up my meds. So she calls, to inconvenience me. The only services they would provide was giving me meds and out of corruption to enforce that a history of mental illness. So that, just sabotage services. So she's ignoring the other things and then wanting to have me pick up my meds to inconvenience me. And that's the only service that they were providing out of corruption. And she didn't even really want to do that, as well as Janissa, that wouldn't even provide the meds and the doctor's appointments out of corruption. And that's vital for this program to have access to the meds, and they weren't even doing that. Okay, so I had an appointment with a domestic violence place on to get assistance April 12th. It's like they know my business. So she calls me the same day that I have this appointment. They eventually deny services. She called me at Mosaic. This was an appointment at Mosaic, and she called me when I was waiting to speak with police. Then Mosaic told me they didn't think the police would come in enough time, and to leave. It's like multiple parties are conspiring together. So I have the appointment on Mosaic 11/12, and she's trying to force me to have a doctor's appointment. And I said to have your meds be a priority. And I said I won't be able to bring. And then I told her, she says, I still need you to come to the clinic Thursday. Doc and meds have to be a priority. And I've told her that my life is in jeopardy and I was getting assistance. And then again, I won't be able to bring your meds. I need you to come by to see Doc and pick up your meds. I told her already I had something important to do. She didn't care. And then I told her that my daughter reported some physical abuse. She's 12. And then she advises me to make an online report. What they want, because they know something's going on with my phone. So all these people conspire together and force me to have to get my business taken care of on the phone so I can talk to these counterfeits. No one will handle business in person. They all network me back to making phone calls on my phone. Then when I go to my provider covers for it. On the video clip, technical support has never called me at Metro. The last update where they said they were going to call me, they still have not called. So when they entice the providers to cover for the crimes that are happening with my phone network, and all the people, they route back out to making phone calls. So the people will consistently keep covering for the crimes that I talk to on my phone. And then I tell her when she wants me to contact CPS again, that how CPS, the multiple missing reports that came up missing, I've already reported multiple ignored reports. And then I said, are you saying there's nothing that we can do to protect my child and for you to give me advocacy and protection? And then she says, once it's reported via online, the link, the process, they handle the rest. And this is a social worker. All of them do this. All the advocates and social workers cover for the crimes that I speak with, in person and on my phone. And I told her April 27th that I wanted the resources and services of a social worker. And I said, you're denying them. And then she wants to go back in with mental health treatment. That's the only thing she wants to discuss. They ignore all the other critical experiences and only want to discuss the mental health. So now that I have my own place, she's finally there. She gives me housing resources. And when I didn't have my own place, they were sabotaging housing services. So now that I have my own place, she's trying to be funny and send them out now. Okay. So this is back to the dad. The stepmom, I told them they're committing a crime by not denying me access to my child. And then she stated the family FLP hasn't got in contact with them. So have a good day. So they're all networking, scheming together out of corruption. So she's blaming it on family FLP, but it's her responsibility to make sure I get the supervised visits. You have no choice if you're set up on supervised visits to make sure that happens and that you're doing your part to facilitate that. And they can't get their lie together, but they're protecting her because the whole objective is to deny me access to my child who they know I love and miss dearly. So now she's blaming it on family FLP. And then I said, when she wants me to speak with family FLP, they can't get their lie straight. The last I heard, you did not do your part. Well, the reason why I did all this up front, people will not believe what I go through, and a lot of it will make me sound, off. So I won't even discuss all the crazy things that I go through. But I was on working, and then she tells me something happened with my daughter. And if you talk to Michaela, bring her back here. And so there's a call right there. Where she's telling me something happened to my daughter, and I told her I was working, and I call her right back, and they're not answering the phone now. Another time she called, starting to argue with me out the blue, saying that I was calling and having blocking traffic. Multiple parties would do crazy stuff like this, social workers, all kinds of people, and she told me that I was blocking traffic. So I was constantly tormented. The prank calls, family members calling, social workers calling, getting threatened on buses. I was getting tortured. But I really, at first, did not know how to show that. Well, anyway, she called and said that I was texted saying I was blocking traffic. I don't know if I still have those texts. I will look. Just one moment. I'm not sure if I still have the text where she said that I called out fire trucks and ambulance and started an argument. I did report it to the police, and of course, they covered for it. Because it showed that established a pattern of her harassment with them, and that she's making false statements for whatever reason that she was making them. I've been at the shelter, and shelter staff had lied on me and started arguments there. Out the blue, there's a multitude of people that would start arguments and slander me for the emotional distress part of the situation. So the reason why I did this upload or this video diary is because Stepmom calls me and said that there was a crisis going on with my daughter. And then now that I'm on break, she won't tell me what's going on. Like the CPS social worker wouldn't tell me what was going on. And then it's like games are being played to taunt and keep me in distress. Which I would think that I'm already in enough from the situation I'm going through. But there's multiple parties that contribute to the emotional distress, the prank calls, the threats, the arguments at grocery stores. People, I believe that he hired people to threaten me, degrade me. That's why I started recording it. No, it's not normal to get attacked 2 times in one day, and for the police department to cover for it. That's a bit much in one day. But I had 2 assaults in one day. So the amount of, threats, attacks, robberies, I felt someone was setting it up because it was just too much. And then going through all this, I was forced to live outside in a tent with multiple parties threatening me. The gun pulled up against my head, pulled the trigger, and thank God there was no bullets. The police department covering for that event. And I had to live outside with all this going on. So that's why I did the upload today.